Bonjour, this is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast. It's the podcast that's all about the cuisine that is said to have founded modern cooking. French ingredients and dishes have been the starting blocks for many of the world's best chefs and cooks. And on Fabulously Delicious, you'll learn all about those dishes and ingredients, as well as get to know more about fabulous French foodies. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
My life changed when I competed on MasterChef Australia. And now I'm living my best life right here in the French countryside. Cooking, eating, meeting wonderful locals, food producers, chefs, home cooks, drinking amazing wines, eating some of the over 1,500, would you believe, French cheeses, and sharing these fabulous experiences with you, my fabulously delicious audience. I hope you're enjoying them. Christmas in France wouldn't be complete without today's iconic dessert, which is as rich in tradition as it is in flavour. In this episode, we'll unravel the story behind and explore the origins of, as well as celebrate the artistry that makes it a cherished part of the holiday tables here in France and beyond. Sit back, turn up the volume. If you're not driving, pour yourself a glass of wine, break a baguette, add a bit of saucisson maybe, some of that delicious cheese, and enjoy today's episode of Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, Bûche de Noël. Bûche de Noël, spelled bûche, B-U-C-H-E, de, D-E, Noël, N-O-E-L, is more than just a dessert. It's a culinary icon that embodies the warmth and joy of the Christmas season here in France. This traditional Yule log cake is usually made from light and airy sponge that is then filled with a luscious buttercream or jam and rolled into a log shape. It's as much a feast for the eyes as it is for the palate. Rich, festive, and steeped in tradition, the Bûche de Noël is a centerpiece of holiday celebrations in France and beyond. In France, the Bûche de Noël graces the table as the grand finale to the Réveillon, which is the lavish Christmas Eve meal that is often as much about family and tradition as it is about food. However, the indulgence of this dessert extends far beyond France. In French-speaking countries like Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland and Canada, especially in Quebec, it's a cherished holiday staple. Its reach even extends to Vietnam, a legacy of France's colonial history. Variants have also found their way to the United States, United Kingdom, Cambodia, Scandinavia, Portugal, Spain and Japan, where local flavours and technique have added new twist to this classic. At its heart, the Bûche de Noël is a roulade, a rolled sponge cake that's deceptively simple in appearance but requires precision and skill to execute properly. The sponge, known as a Genoese, is a classic French cake base that's both light and flexible, making it ideal for rolling without cracking. Once baked in a shallow pan, the sponge is spread with a filling, often chocolate or vanilla, or a fruit-flavoured buttercream or jam. Then it's rolled tightly into a cylinder. This rolling technique creates the signature spiral of filling visible when the cake is sliced, adding to its visual appeal. The exterior of the Bûche de Noël is traditionally covered with a thick layer of chocolate buttercream or a ganache, which is textured to resemble the bark of a log. This rustic appearance is enhanced by creative decorations. Confectioners often cut one end of the cake at an angle and attach it to the side to mimic a branch, creating a lifelike log effect. Icing sugar is dusted over the top to evoke freshly fallen snow, and there's edible decorations usually like candied holly leaves, fresh berries, or a tiny marzipan mushrooms to add a whimsical touch. Some bakers take the artistry even further, incorporating intricate piping, gold leaf, or seasoned motifs to elevate the dessert to a masterpiece. Interestingly, the name Bûche de Noël once referred to something entirely different, an actual log. In centuries past, it was customary for French households to select a large Yule log to burn in the hearth, a practice believed to bring warmth and good fortune during the 12 days of Christmas. Families would often decorate the log with ribbons, douse it in wine or brandy, and recite blessings as it burnt. As open hearths gave way to smaller stoves in the 19th century, the tradition of the Yule log faded, but its spirit lived on in the form of this festive dessert. The transition from wood to cake is shrouded in a bit of mystery, with several stories claiming credit for its creation. One popular account dates back to 1834, when an apprentice pastry chef in the Saint-Germain-des-Prés district of Paris is said to have crafted the first edible Yule log. And another attributes the invention to Lyon in the 1860s, where Félix Bonnat, a renowned chocolatier and liqueur maker, is believed to have conceived the idea. Bonnat's legacy lives on in his infamous chocolate brand, which remains celebrated for its quality and craftsmanship today. Planning a trip to Paris, or maybe you're one of those lucky ones that who call Paris home. I've had the joy of living in Paris, and let's just say I've eaten my way through the city of lights, love, and good food for you. And with all that delicious experience, I knew I had to share it with you, my fabulously delicious audience. Because if you're here, then you probably love food as much as I do, and maybe even Paris. That's why I created my first book, Paris, a fabulous food guide to the world's most delicious city. In it, you'll find picks for boulangeries, cafes, chocolate shops, margeries, patisseries, wine bars, and so much more. Whether you're planning a trip or already wandering around Paris and looking for somewhere to eat, this guide is perfect for you. It's up to date with recommendations to eat and explore like a local. Get your copy at andrewpryorfabulously.com. And yes, I even offer a signed and gift package version, perfect for a present. And you'll also find it on Amazon, including a Kindle version that gives you instant access. Bon voyage and happy eating your way through Paris with Paris, a fabulous food guide to the world's most delicious city. The first recorded recipe for the Bûche de Noël appeared in Pierre Lacam's Le Mémorial historique et géographique de la pâtisserie. Published in 1890, this monumental book containing more than 1,600 recipes for regional cakes and pastries offers detailed instructions for creating a log-shaped cake from sponge and buttercream. Lacam's recipe calls for a light and airy sponge rolled with a coffee or chocolate buttercream and decorated to resemble a log, complete with smaller branches affixed to the main roll. Whilst Lacam didn't initially mention the origins of the dessert, later editions of his book revealed more, crediting Antoine Charbot, a Parisian pastry chef at Maison Culinary, with its invention in 1879. Charbot's contribution to French pastry also included the development of French buttercream, a rich velvety frosting made by whipping egg yolks with sugar syrup and butter, a technique that's still used in many Bûche de Noël recipes today. The evolution of the Bûche de Noël didn't stop there. By the 20th century, it had become a symbol of holiday indulgence, with pâtissiers across France competing to create the most elaborate and imaginative versions. Today, the Bûche de Noël comes in countless variations, from the classic chocolate log to the contemporary interpretations that feature flavors like espresso, praline, or exotic fruits. Some modern creations forego the traditional sponge entirely, opting for mousse-based logs or gluten-free alternatives to cater to changing tastes and dietary needs. In addition to its culinary appeal, the Bûche de Noël serves as a reminder of the artistry and tradition that define French pastry. Each component of the cake, from the delicate sponge to the intricate decorations, reflects the skill and creativity of its maker. It's no wonder that this dessert has become a beloved holiday ritual, not just in France, but around the world. The decorations in particular highlight the French love for storytelling through food. The snowy, icy sugar, marzipan mushrooms, and berry garnishes evoke a wintry forest scene, transforming a simple cake into a festive tableau. These details are more than just aesthetic. They are a nod to the dessert's rustic origins and a celebration of the season's natural beauty. For many, the Bûche de Noël is more than just a dessert. It's a symbol of togetherness and festivity. Sharing a slice at the end of Christmas meal is a tradition that brings families and friends together, creating memories as sweet as the cake itself. Whether enjoyed in a Parisian patisserie, a cozy French village, or a far-flung corner of the globe, the Bûche de Noël remains a cherished part of holiday celebrations. So, this Christmas, if you're lucky enough to have a Bûche de Noël on your table, take a moment to appreciate the history and the craftsmanship that went into its creation. With each bite, you're tasting not just a delicious dessert, but a piece of French heritage, a tradition that continues to bring joy and sweetness to the season. Pierre, one of France's most renowned pastry chefs, said about the Bûche de Noël, "Pastry is an art that transforms simple ingredients into emotions. The Bûche de Noël is not just a dessert, it's a story, a tradition, and a moment shared around the table." That's it for another episode of Season 4 of Fabulously Delicious. Have you heard of the Bûche de Noël before? And what's the most fabulous thing that you've learned from today's episode? Let me know by contacting me via Instagram. Slide into my DMs at Andrew Pryor Fabulously, or you can email me on contact@andrewpryorfabulously.com. I love to chat with you all. We could just have a chat about the Bûche de Noël. I love to talk to people about food, and especially French food. Thank you for listening, and remember, you know what my motto is. Whatever you do, do it fabulously. Merci beaucoup, and bon app.